As we continue this back to school month, there was new fallout and new controversy at Vob Elementary. Just today, the Uvalde School Board had held a meeting, and now the families of Uvalde demand action. Take a look.
We begin tonight with more fallout from the mass shooting at Robb Elementary. Thank you for joining us. I'm Isis Romero. We're learning tonight the principal of the school, Mandy Gutierrez, has been placed on administrative leave by the district superintendent. Her attorney confirming the news to KENS 5 this evening. Gutierrez became principal of Robb Elementary last year. In June, she was interviewed by the Special Texas Legislative Committee, where she testified that school administration knew about the faulty lock to the classroom where the shooting took place, but the lock was never fixed. And just hours ago, angry parents walked out of another heated school board meeting in Uvalde. They again peppered trustees with questions and blistering criticism. Still, the board took steps to bolster security at existing campuses and start work on a new elementary school. KENS 5 reporter Matt Houston explains the district's plans.
Because it's always something.
Uvalde parents say trustees didn't do enough to protect their children in May and contend they haven't yet done enough to protect them this fall.
This district needs to clean house. The issues that brought us to May 24th are deeply rooted, long-standing, and we need change.
Most attendees left this meeting when another speaker suggested the tone of the discussion should change. Those families that walked out missed a presentation that answered security questions they've been asking for weeks.
I know this is what's on most everybody's mind, and let's go through these.
UCISD interviewed 16 candidates for its police department last week. Workers will begin installing new security cameras on campuses tomorrow, and school visitors will enter through one door at each building next year. Finally,
there's no reason for an 18-year-old to have something like that.
The board formally asked Governor Greg Abbott to call a special session to raise the age for buying semi-automatic guns from 18 to 21. Uvalde County Commissioners have already urged this, and the City Council could do the same Tuesday.
Matt Houston joins us live now. And Matt, what steps has the council taken towards constructing a new elementary school?
Well, they've hired a law firm essentially to help manage the nonprofit, which will oversee the millions of dollars pouring into the school district to build a new school. Still very early in this process, but tonight, Superintendent Hal Harrell promised parents they would get a say in what that school looks like and how the district moves forward with its plans. We're live in Uvalde. I'm Matt Houston, KENS 5.
Thank you, Matt.
Wow. So now we know who's fired. That principal from years in that principal before that shooting was hired, and now because of that fault, now because of that lock, this principal is being placed on administrative leave. So you have the school district police chief, Pete Arnado. Then you have the principal. And because of that lock, what's now happening is that
previously
they approved the delayed start of the school year.
Is trying to figure out how to start a new school year in the wake of a mass shooting. And tonight, an attorney told our San Antonio station the principal of Robb Elementary School has been placed on leave. Adriana De Alba joins us from the newsroom with more on tonight's school board meeting.
Uvalde parents are still calling for accountability. Tonight's meeting comes after a special school board meeting to consider firing the district's police chief, Pete Arredondo, was canceled this weekend. The message from parents today: their children are still hurting and they're not ready to go back to school. There were several developments tonight. The school board voted to delay the start of the school year by 3 weeks until after Labor Day. Board members also signed a resolution asking Greg Abbott to consider raising the gun purchasing age from 18 to 21. Parents raised concerns about school safety, and some blamed the school district for the tragedy. At one point, things got tense when one speaker defended the district and families walked out. Some speakers called for new security improvements, while others said it'll never be enough.
I feel like the school buildings need to be made safe, and we're just not seeing it yet. I'm hoping that they will get done.
It's not about extra security. Over 400 officers and 77 minutes later already proved where that got us.
School security was the big topic tonight. The school board shared several of its goals. Members say they want all Uvalde schools to have bulletproof windows, metal detectors, and one point of entry. The school board says the goal is to have all those measures implemented before the start of the new school year. In the studio, I'm Adriana De Alba.
And if it gets to the point where we have to just have violent juveniles that bring guns, I mean, it's to teach people. That's why there's zero tolerance policies for everything. Guns, weapons. But the thing is with weapons, you don't know what's a weapon. Well, according to the school's zero tolerance policies, anything that can be used as a weapon is a weapon. Which is why when we come back, I want to read to you an article from years ago about a teacher who came up with a genius idea to ban pencils and pens. And then we're going to look into what's a weapon and what's not a weapon. And maybe school districts can hear instead of turning the other way. We'll be right back. Before we move on to our guns or not weapons or not weapons, there is one more video we need to play about that walkout.
The school district leaders talking up and taking up several issues tonight. None of them involve the future of school district police chief Pete Arredondo.
But the board did decide when the new school year is going to begin. So students start class on September 6th. Students from Robb Elementary are going to attend other campuses.
The board will also voted to move forward on a development plan for an elementary school to replace Robb Elementary. They also passed a resolution to request Governor Greg Abbott call a special session. They want to raise the age requirement to buy an assault-style rifle from 18 to 21.
So those resolutions are taking a back seat, however. You know, families today, they stormed out of the auditorium. The night team's Lee Waldman was there. She joins us now live. Lee, why did they leave?
Well, a woman stood up and started to speak in favor of the school district during that open forum part of that meeting. The first 15 minutes there, one father stood up, he walked out, and then the rest followed. The families of these victims tell me they stand together. Like a chant riding out of battle, the families of Uvalde victims standing united.
As you saw, that we are together. The majority of us are together. And when one of us goes, we all know we stand together. That is Uvalde strong.
One father only going back inside to grab the photo of his daughter seated on the front row. Brett Cross, Uzziah's guardian and father, as he describes, says they're upset at the lack of accountability and ownership on the part of the school district for mistakes that led to the tragedy on May 24th.
2 months, finally, after I asked and asked and asked, finally said, well, everybody messed up, but we messed up. They couldn't even accept that and say, yo, we messed up.
Berlinda Areola, grandma to Amory Jo Garza, repeated over and over again that families were not done, calling for responsibility and accountability.
You're behind us or you're against us. There's no halfway in, halfway out. It doesn't work that way. And we're not going to sit here and let you tell us to our face that what they did was right. No.
Donnie Ray has kids who attend Uvalde schools. He isn't satisfied with what he calls the lack of safety changes on the part of the school board. He's also mad more of Uvalde isn't showing up at these meetings.
Look around. I mean, look around. It's supposed to be Uvalde strong. I don't see that many Uvalde residents here. I mean, where are you at, Uvalde?
Now, this meeting coming right after ABC News confirmed that Mandy Gutierrez, the principal at Robb Elementary, has in fact been placed on administrative leave with pay. I asked Brett Cross about this. He says it's a start. The district also announcing tonight another open forum meeting will be happening on August 8th. Live in Uvalde, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
That's Monday.
Thank you, Lee. The district also announced some security improvements tonight. That includes new video camera systems, which are being installed this week. It will also start an audit on its Wi-Fi and communications problems tomorrow. The search for an interim district police chief has started, and the district says its police force will be reorganized.
Good. Let me tell you, there's an old song from an old movie, Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Are you in or out? I ain't playing it for you because if I play it, I'm gonna be demonetized. But what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to read off it's like this. Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt, I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best, success is granted. Success is granted. Take a slice of my advice. You want a fearless leader? One that's strong and stout? Better vote for me. Are you in or out? That's what really gets. I really think the board, the UISD, needs to be held accountable. They need to stand up and say, look, we screwed up. Let's make this better. And I'm glad these families walked out to say, we don't want to hear this. Let's go. To say, you know what? I'm not going to hear any of this. Let's go. And they did. I'm glad the family are protesting. I'm glad the district's putting up a plan. They need to say to themselves, okay, we're going to be with them or against them. It's like the old saying, if you're not with us, you're against us. And these families are against the school district saying, whoa, please. And they could just be begging them saying, no, please, don't walk out. Please, no. No, please don't walk out. We have a plan put in place. They would like for you to hear. And he'd be like, no, sorry. Flips on the bird and then all of a sudden walks out. It's their freedom of speech rights, and I respect everybody's freedom of speech rights. And personally, I understand that the families and victims are hurt. So the way the school year is going to be, the next board meeting is August 8th, and we'll have that for you. And we're going to have that for you on that day. Also, new security, and during that time, our season premiere, after Labor Day, we will tell you about the Uvalde Back to School. That's on our season 6 premiere. Now, what I want to do is give you a list of weapons or not weapons. There's a difference between tools and weapons. We'll tell you that when we return. Well, 4 weeks ago in Oxford, Michigan, that gun dealer that sold a gun used in that shooting is being sued. This was 4 weeks ago. This is the first federal lawsuit filed in relation to the shooting at Oxford High School that brings claims to specify against AKM Shooting Goods, the weapons dealer. The lawsuits against gun manufacturer dealers are tough to pursue thanks to federal law that provides broad legal immunity to many players in the firearms industry. It shields them from liability for a wide range of complaints at the federal and state levels. I mean, why sue them? There's now, and those legal experts, legal experts accuse Oxford school shooters' parents can't get a fair trial. They're asking for the gun charges to be, now the parents are asking for the gun charges to be dropped. When they bought them the gun, they bought the gun, they gave it to him, and the parents just completely ignored him. If you ignored me, and I did something like that, I point the finger at you and say, Mom and Dad didn't even pick me up from school, didn't take me to a doctor, this and that, because all they could do is just sit around, twiddle their thumbs in their asses, not do anything. If my parents didn't get me help, then crap like this could happen. In a filing late Monday, lawyers for James Jennifer Crumley asked the Michigan Court of Appeals to dismiss the case, arguing that the judges abused their discretion in binding clients over the circuit court, and the evidence regarding any knowledge of their son's state of mind before the shooting should have not been accepted and should not be permitted for the couple's trial. They argued the couple had knowledge of their son's emotional and mental problems and did nothing to help him. Instead, purchasing a handgun from that was later used in the shootings. Monday's filing by the defense attorney said there was no proof that James Jennifer Crumley had read their son's journal and text sent to a friend, which includes several instances in which he complained they were not provided with mental health counseling. Those journal entries and text reports that the Crumleys had refused to remove their son's school as requested by the officials 2 hours for the shootings. But the Oakland County Court Administrator said the potential jurors typically receive notification of jury duty about 5 weeks before trials begin. The case is set for October 24th as the trial date. They'd be notified for jury duty in September. The county's jury assembly room, where jurors stay temporarily before being called to a specific court, can hold about 250 jurors at a time. So we'll give you up to date. We'll keep you posted on this. When we come back, what's a weapon and what's not a weapon? Now, you all know that all school boards have their zero tolerance policies to where anything that can be used as a weapon is a weapon. Like, perfect. A screwdriver. A screwdriver. What can you do with this? It doesn't hurt. It's a metal with a piece of plastic. What can you do with a screwdriver? You can probably stab someone in the brain, or stab them in the heart. It's metal. That could be a weapon. But it's a tool. What about a keyhole saw? What's that gonna do? Cut someone? A saw can really hurt someone. It's serrated, like a serrated knife, like the one with the teeth. Like butter knife. If it's plastic, it doesn't hurt you, but if it's metal, it could hurt you. What about how about banning pencils and pens? I read this article years ago, back in 2000. I read this article back in 2010, 10 years ago. Like almost 12 years ago, I read an article about this. So Wendy Scott, she came with this ingenious idea to ban pencils and pens in the classroom. This was first on Lamar Wilson's channel before all the crap got deleted. When I first read the story, I really thought Lamar said the same thing. Lamar said the same thing. I really thought that too. Wants them to type instead of write. Like, you're gonna make you're really gonna make a mass destruction out of this pen. Project Stick It. Or Project Click It. Ow. Let's read this memo. Wendy Scott sent a memo to parents of the 6th graders at North Elementary School stating that students will no longer be allowed to bring writing implements to school. It said pencils will be provided to students in class, and any students caught with pencils or pens after November 15th would face disciplinary action having materials to build weapons. You can really, you gotta build a weapon of mass destruction out of your number 2 pencil. One of it's called Project Eraser. Aren't there other things in the classroom that are dangerous? What about compasses? You could kill somebody with those. What about those paper cutters? You could lose a finger like that. You play in your hands. Ah, my fingers. And what about those pop quizzes? Teachers just sprinkling like that. You're not expecting it, and bam! Bam! But the North Brookfield School District maintains that the memo was sent out without consent and that no ban is actually in effect. Whether or not your child is going to be subject to zero tolerance policy for trying to be prepared for classes, understanding is something a parent would be clear. So, her pencils and pens are now safer. She was providing those pencils and pens. If that is subject to administrative leave, effective immediately. If I was a teacher and I started doing this, you know what would happen to me? You know what would happen? I would be placed on administrative leave, effective immediately, or suspended. Now all of this is the 10 reasons to ban pencils and pens. It's a parody. But according to the recent MSNBC article, 69% of high school currently ban cell phones, but you'd be hard pressed to find a school that has enacted a blanket ban on pens and pencils. 10 reasons to consider the rights to make exceptions of these distracting potential dangerous implements. The distracting, the tapping, like this, the clicking, the flipping, and rolling can drive just about any teacher around the bend. Writing implements are dangerous. Pens can be used to cheat. Wow. They're incredibly messy. Pencils and pens can be used to bully kids. Kids just use them to play games. Fancy pens and pencils will cause jealousy. You're jealous of a pencil? There are health concerns that can lead to bad habits. They lead on to sedentary behavior. And they can be used to embarrass teachers. Are you crazy to write this article about banning these things? I mean, is this distracting? Is this too noisy for you? I bet it is. Or, I'll stop. But this article makes a good point. If you want to ban pencil and pens, it's your choice, but you're gonna choose the consequences. Administrative leave. If you want to ban those things, you need to have permission and say, hey, the reason why I'm doing this is basically because of kids just use them for pens. People use them as weapons. That can drive the principal insane. All right. When we return from Insert Productions, a look at the greatest clips ever. No cheating, no ditching, no bullying, no vending machines, no cell phones. But one security guard. One of the greatest hits of our back to school month when we return. You ever hear of Insert Productions? That's a YouTube channel with their student by the name of Grayson who just does bad things because they want to be like the security guards. I'm gonna play you some of the clips. Like no
Class,
cheating.
time to begin.
Watch.
In 3, 2, 1. No cheating.
This is part of our greatest hits.
Okay, class, I need to leave the room for a minute. Remember, no cheating while I'm gone.
It's funny because she is smiling. This hasn't made it into the greatest hits yet, but it's going to sometime this week. Now, there's one of our greatest hits, the dress code. A little skit from Insert Productions. Watch.
Yeah, you know why I called you in here?
No.
I've got some complaints that you've been tackling a student by the name of Grayson for school violations.
Imagine being you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, lose my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy to.
Hello?
Okay, well, I've had more than one, and I just need you to know that if you are, it needs to stop immediately.
Okay.
Is that understood?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
To school? I didn't know. You got stomach, no straps? No. Really short. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you, are you Grayson?
Oh, you heard me?
You know, I hear that my security's been tackling some young man by the name of Grayson for violating school policies. Is this accurate?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? We're going to do something about your attire today. Okay, so we're going to need to get you some different things to wear to school. High school.
What's wrong with what I'm wearing?
I'm not trying to see your underwear, first of all, and it's not appropriate.
So, but your security guards aren't going to tackle me anymore?
No.
Well, if they're not going to tackle me, I don't know what you're going to do about it.
Excuse me?
No, excuse me.
You know what? Walt, Mr. Snow, I need your assistance over in A building. Woo!
thing. For disrespecting me, you got another thing coming. Jim, Walt, this guy breaks any more school rules, you can most definitely make him feel the thunder.
Whoa! Feel the thunder, baby!
There's one more clip. We have time for one more clip. One of our greatest hits ever is talking about cell phones in class, and this clip, this skit definitely says that. Take a look. Ooh. Boom.
Feel the thunder, baby! You're gonna use your phone 3 times before school, at lunch, and after school.
Yeah, you know what? We got time for one more. How about those vending machines? But we're gonna be playing for you in our greatest hits this week. I want to play you a portion.
All right, you can't be using that soda machine like that. Woo! Feel the thunder, baby. You can't be using these machines except before school, lunchtime, after school. Get it together, baby. Oh, one more thing.
He puts them in the vending machines. That was funny. All this week, our greatest hits ever. No PDA. No vending machines. No bullying. Don't ditch. No cheating. Don't be tardy. We're replaying all of these. It's our greatest hits for our back to school month. All this week. As well as our 6th season. So, all this week, be on the lookout for our back to school greatest hits. Something we haven't done in 5 years. Because 5 years, I've been just teaching you guys how to get prepared for school. And your school policies, zero tolerance policies, for everything from school safety and all. It's our greatest hits. It's our greatest hits week this week. So be on the lookout for that. That's Give Me a Break for this Monday. We will see you again for Give Me a Break Wednesday. And for all of us here at Give Me a Break on YouTube, good night, everyone.